Good morning, students. Now I am starting the first unit again, and we have three topics in two topics in third unit. We will discuss after completion of first unit. So, first of all, what is an algorithm? So, an algorithm is a finite set of precise instructions for performing a computation or for solving a problem. And we will get a mathematical representation for each and every one, and the properties are input, output, definiteness, finiteness, correctness, effectiveness. And these are the properties of an algorithm: input, output, definiteness, correctness, finiteness, effectiveness. Coming to the input from a specified set and the output from a specified set, that is solution, definiteness of every step, and correctness of output for every possible input, finiteness of a number is calculation step, efficiency of each calculation step. And coming to the analysis of algorithm, analysis of efficiency of an algorithm can be performed at two different stages: before implementation and after implementation. Before implementation and after implementation. So, a prior analysis and post prior analysis. Before implementation and after implementation we can call as prior analysis and post analysis. Coming to prior analysis, this is defined as a theoretical analysis of algorithm, and efficiency of algorithm is measured by assuming that all other facts, speed of process and constant values have no effect on implementation. And coming to posterior analysis, this is defined as the analysis of algorithm chosen implemented using the program language, and the chosen algorithm is executed on target computer machine. In this analysis, actual statistics like running time and space needed are calculated. And coming to the space complexity, and this is a example for an algorithm. This is another example, and I am using for another example linear search here. You all know how to write that, and this is about binary search. I think you all know, that's why I am not explaining here. I'm clearly showing here how the process is continuing. And this is about the complexity. And space complexity of an algorithm is represented the amount of memory space needed that the algorithm in its life cycle. And space needed by the algorithm is equal to the sum of the following two components: fixed size and variable size. I am telling about space complexity. Space complexity of an algorithm is represents the amount of memory space needed the algorithm, and there are two parts: fixed part and variable part. Coming to fixed part is the space required that stores certain data and variable that are not dependent on the size of the problem. Coming to variable part is a space required by variable whose size is totally dependent on the size of the problem. And space complexity we can represent as S of P, and P is the problem. S of P is equal to A plus SP of 1, where A is treated as fixed part and S of 1 is treated as a variable part. And coming to the time complexity, a time complexity of an algorithm is representation of the amount of time required by the algorithm to execute the computation. Time requirements can be denoted or defined as the numerical function T of n, where T of n can be measured as the number of steps and provided each step taken to the constant, and we can represent T of n is equal to C into n. And that is about the space complexity. And coming to the analysis of algorithm, we can analyze the algorithm in three cases, that is worst case, best case, average case. And the worst case, the maximum number of steps taken on any instance of size A, and in best case the minimum number of steps taken on any instant of size A, and average case an average number of steps taken on the instant of size A. That is called as the analysis of algorithm. And coming to the different notations are asymptotic notations, and that is very important for first unit topics. There are three types of notations are there: big O notation, theta notation, omega notation. And big O notation, the notation order of n is the formal way to express the upper bound of an algorithm running time. It measures the worst case time complexity or the longest amount of time an algorithm can be possibly taken to complete. And omega notation is the formal notation in the expression of lower bound and algorithms using running time. It measures the best case time complexity or best amount of time an algorithm. And theta notation is the formal way to express both the lower bound and upper bound. You all know the common asymptotic notations logarithmic notation, log n, n square, n cube, like that you all know. Asymptotic notation of an algorithm refer to defining the mathematical boundaries of its running time performance. Using asymptotic notation, we can very well conclude the best case, average case, and worst case scenario in the algorithm. And asymptotic notation is input bound, that is, if there are no inputs to the algorithm, it is concluded to work in a constant time. Other than the input, all other factors are considered constant. And computing the running time of an operation in mathematical unit of computation, the running time of one operation is computed as, and maybe for another operation is computed as g of n square. That means the first operation running time will be increasing linearly with the n order, and running time of second operation will increase the exponential. When n increases, similarly the running time of both operations will be nearly the same of n, and there are three types: best case, average case, worst case. Already we have discussed about that. We will use the pseudocode for the specified algorithms to remember the basics. This is the algorithm for finding the maximum elements in a finite sequence. We are taking maximum numbers as integers a1 to an, and defined max is equal to a1 for I equal to 2 to n, because already a1 means first in element is called already in max. That's why I am starting here 2 to n elements. Max is less than ai, then max is equal to ai. Max is the largest number element. And again another algorithm example is linear search I am taking. You all know how to do the linear search. We can get a key element, and we have to compare that key element in the entire elements. If that is found with the on display, we can get the element is found, and the procedure is linear search integer a1 to an, and I equal to 1, initialize I value to 1, while I is less than or equal to n and x is not equal to a. I equal to I plus 1. If I is less than or equal to n, locate I, else locate 0. That means element not found. If the element is found, the while loop will continues up to we get the certain key. If the terms in a sequence are ordered, a binary search is more efficient than the linear search, and the binary search algorithm is iteratively restricts the relevant search because it closes in on the position of the elements to locate. And this is the example for binary search. First I am starting with a low value, high value. By using low value, high value, the midpoint is located. The entire list is divided into two parts. And search starting for the our key element. I think you are understood. The jth element is our key element. We found that the message will display like the element is found, and this is about the binary search. And already in the third unit we have lived the two topics. One is randomized algorithms. I'm just briefing about the randomized algorithms. And tomorrow class, tomorrow not possible. Monday. In Monday class we will discuss detailed about randomized algorithms. Now I am giving the overview of randomized algorithms. Up to now we have discussed different basics in first unit. We will continue that unit also. And coming to the randomized algorithms, an algorithm that uses a random number to decide what to do next. To decide what to do next anywhere in its logic is called as a randomized algorithm. An algorithm that uses random number to decide what to do next is called as a randomized algorithm. For example, in randomized quicksort, you all know the normal quicksort, how to do. You all know the procedure for that, the problem. In randomized quicksort, we use a random number to pick the next pivot element. We randomly shuffle the array depends upon the situation. And coming to how we will calculate a randomized algorithm. And the randomized algorithm, we choose randomly we selected a element and we proceed the for a decision. That means we get to get a particular result. We will continue up to we get the result. We will continue. And in randomized algorithm, we use two algorithms: Las Vegas algorithm and Monte Carlo algorithm. Don't confuse. Randomized algorithm, we use two types. One is Monte Carlo algorithm and another one is Las Vegas algorithm. We will discuss briefly in the next class what are those algorithms, why we are using that. We will discuss in the next class. While we are solving the randomized algorithms, there is a finite probability. We know the probability problems, how to solve the probability problems of getting the incorrect answer. However, a probability of getting a wrong answer can be made arbitrarily small by the repeated randomized algorithms. And coming to the analysis of running time, or probability of getting a correct answer is usually difficult. Getting truly random number is impossible. Once the needed is depends upon the random number, so the result is highly depends on the quality of the random number. And there are some advantages for randomized algorithms. The algorithm is usually simple and easy to implement the fast with the very high probability and process optimized number to get high probability. But the randomized algorithms are not probabilistic analysis of expected running time. The inputs are assumed that the came for probability distribution. The objectives are computed in the running time. And this is about the today's class. We will discuss detailedly about randomized algorithms in next video. And today we have discussed about what is an algorithm. An algorithm is, you all know the simple definition, step by step process of instructions is called as algorithm. And an algorithm is a finite set of precise for instructions for performing a computation or for solving a problem. And the properties of algorithm is input, output, definiteness, correctness, finiteness, effectiveness. These are the very important question for 2 marks questions. Short answer questions repeatedly where they are asking the properties of algorithm: input, output, definiteness, correctness, finiteness, effectiveness. And this is about the example. We are finding maximum element in a finite sequence. We have discussed it already, and this is about linear search. And this is about binary search. Low value, high value. By using low value, high value, we get the middle point. When we get the middle point, middle element, the entire list is divided to 2 parts. Here on the screen, green part and red part you are observing. Green part is one subset and red part is another sublist. In green part again we use low plus high value. We will get a middle point again. Again the list is divided and our searching element is J. We found the central element J here. So we will display the element is found, and that is about the for time complexity. Let us assume two algorithms A and B, and the complexity of A is 5000 n and B is 1.1 power n. Don't confuse, if you don't understand also, better leave this complexity. I will tell detailedly on board. Just see once. I will continue with this time complexity calculation after completion of randomized algorithms, and will assign small question for you from the third unit for tomorrow assignment. And the questions for tomorrow session is assignment 2 questions are from the third unit: job sequencing with deadline and Prim's algorithm. Job sequencing with deadline and Prim's algorithms are the assignment questions. I don't give you the questions on your group because I don't know how many are listening this video. So I interact you at any point of you today in Zoom meeting. So those two are the questions. Job sequencing with deadline and Prim's algorithm are the two questions. For that's all for today. We will discuss randomized algorithms detailedly in Zoom class, not on screen. In Zoom class we will meet so that you can briefly understand how the process is going on. If you have any doubts, ask me in tomorrow class. Tomorrow class is purely for doubts and assignment checking purpose only. Job sequencing with deadline and prims. These two questions are the assignment questions. That's all for today. I'm ending the today's class. We will meet on Zoom.